everybody. I just want to take a couple minutes to talk about note-taking in this class. So here we go. So notes are a fundamental skill, in my opinion, in college. And according to various studies and me, it's really, really important. And so for assignments where I ask for notes, you're going to need some paper and some colored pencils or pens and markers, highlighters, something that's going to allow you to use, more than just pen on paper. Don't just cut and paste images from the internet unless you're typing your notes, which I don't recommend and most likely will not lead to full credit. So draw them yourself, unless they are super complicated, like a map of the world or something. In the resources at the end, it explains some more of the research associated with why typing your notes is just not a good idea for recall and knowledge acquisition. So note-taking, I give it to you, can be hard work. It's unrelenting. It takes practice. You should redraft your notes, revise, finalize them before you turn them in. Don't leave it to the last second before you turn it in. And I wanted to talk about the 4-part rubric. Sorry. So I also like to call them illustrated notes approach. So here's some examples. This one's from online. If you wanted to do like a modified Cornell style, that would also be fine. But this is a good example of notes taken in my earth science class. So you can see all of the aspects that I'm looking for. Here are some additional examples. So this has what we're looking for. It's got color, it's creative. There's, lots of information in there. There's not a lot of white space, so they're condensed and they've, changed color, pen color, and kind of groups the information together. So, yeah. So there's a 4-part rubric, like I said. I call it COIN. So C stands for content. So how much information is conveyed? Are there explanations? Are there examples? Is there more content than what I just gave you? I'm not collecting your notes for your reading, but I highly recommend and encourage you take some form of notes while you read. They don't necessarily need to be this illustrated type, but if there is a note assignment in my class, they need to be this illustrated type. The O stands for organization. That's going to be like formatting. Are they question-based? Do they have subheadings? Are concepts clumped together? There shouldn't be any like huge sentences or paragraphs. You can use abbreviations. You should highlight major concepts, underline, things like that. Put arrows, all that good stuff. Interaction, personalize it, color, creativity, opinions, reactions. This reminds me of something, or hey, I visited this place when I was a kid. Diagrams, charts, in this particular case, if it's a geography class, maps, things like that. And N stands for neatness. So did you make sure that I can read them? I know that sometimes it's a little difficult with the cam scanner or whatever you're using, but just try and make sure that they're legible. There's not a lot of empty space on the paper because we're trying to save paper. This is usually what the rubric will look like for your notes. So they're worth 30 points. You get 10 points just for turning them in the correct format. What does that mean? That I can actually read them when you turn them in. So PDF, JPEG, don't use an HEIC file. You need to convert that. There are plenty of online converters for it. If you're an Apple user, you can use Cam Scanner, which is a free app that you can download to either your Google or your Android or your iPhones. And use that. It kind of acts like a scanner. You take pictures with your camera, it creates a PDF. So formatting again is how the notes are organized. There's no particular format of notes required, but you can adopt a variety of styles and create your own. So this one is like a graphic organizer. So you've got bubbles and you've got diagrams that suggest where stuff is located. This is like a cause and effect. So industrialization caused factory jobs and assembly lines, and These are the effects in home life and work life and health life. And then over here you see like opinions, like I said. You'll notice there are no colors in here because I took black and white pictures. Sorry. Anyways. You could do a formal outline, although I don't recommend it because it's very boring. So you can see there's not a lot of interaction. Informal outline, that's a little better. So you're not really putting bullet points, and you're not really putting like A, B, 1, subset B, or whatever. But you still have large fonts and smaller writing and stuff like that. And then my favorite, of course, is the pictorial, lots of drawings and pictures that show the various concepts that you're going to be learning about in this class. So when you write stuff down in your own writing and in your own words, you're twice as likely to remember it. And when you personalize your work, you're taking ownership of your learning. Copying PowerPoint slides and textbook information is just not going to help you remember stuff. I promise. It's definitely a skill for life. It's one I learned when I was in high school, and I still use it to this day. So it takes a little getting used to, but once you kind of get used to it, resist the temptation to just say, I'm not going to do it that way. Just try it. Yes, it'll take a little while, but eventually you'll learn, and I can almost guarantee 97% of the people at the end of the semester said, I'm really glad I took notes the way you showed me how to do it. So here's some further resources on note-taking in case you're curious. And that's all I've got. So there's my video about taking notes in my class. Thanks. Have a great one.